here to let you know that you are sitting on your gifts and your talents that God literally has given you, right? And I know that you are, because I used to be one that literally did that. And a lot of people try to figure out, like, okay, how do I actually find, like, my gifts? Like, I'm so talented, I'm so, creative, but like, how do I actually find my gift, my talent, my purpose, and what God is really calling me to do? And 3 things that I'll tell you really quickly in reference to what I personally did to actually help me find my gift and to understand it, if I was, in the right direction, going in the right direction or not. The very first thing that I did was I fasted, right? I personally went on a 90-day fast, where I eliminated social media, so I wasn't on certain platforms, only if I was posting for business. But as far as like scrolling and things of that sort, I wasn't doing any of that. Now I'm gonna be real with you. I did get on Instagram a day or 2 or 3 during that period of time, because it was a 90-day fast. During that period of time, but even, with that, I asked, like, repent and ask God, like, I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, let me get off. And then I didn't get, back up there anymore as far as scrolling wise, unless I was posting something for business. Mine was 90 days, and I also was sustaining from sex. So I wasn't doing any type of sexual, intercourse with someone or self-pleasure, right? None of that. And so that was my 90-day fast that I did. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I also did was I wrote a list literally of what it was that I felt that I was strong in, right? Like, what were the things that I like to do? What were my strengths? What were, the things that I just literally enjoy doing? And then also I wrote down, what are some things that I enjoy doing if I never got paid to do that, right? And so I was able to come up with a list of literally different things that I personally liked, enjoyed. The third thing, y'all, with those 2 is I also changed my mindset. And when I say change my mindset, I start listening to different podcasts, positive podcasts, like Crystal Renee Hazlett podcast, just different, and they weren't all necessarily like gospel, like podcasts, like preachy podcasts, but I'm talking about just something that literally is going to shift your mind from the negative and the toxicity of the people, that you hang around with, and the things that you listen to positive things, music, right? The things that you watch, the things that you hear. I also changed that too. This is literally all during the 90-day fast. Because once I came off of the 90-day fast, I continued to follow up on some of those things as well. But I listened, and I'll drop it in the comments, but I literally listened to, what is her name? Nova Soli. It's like a motivational energy, like positive energy music that she puts out. So I listened to that. Just different podcasts, positive podcasts, literally in the morning was what I would do. Pray, journal, and listen to some type of podcast. And I also listen to like audiobooks. So you want to change your mindset as well. Those are the main 3 things that I personally did. And there are some other things as well that I'll get into and that I'll share later on. But those were the main 3 things that I personally did. And during that time frame, y'all, God literally was able to show me exactly what it was that I was supposed to do. And as you start to do that, then you continue to get additional answers, right? So I didn't get all of my answers during my 90-day fast. And I will say some things honestly happened in my 90-day fast that most people would have thought would have stopped me from trying to continue to push on and press forward, but it didn't, right? Because I continue to have God in the forefront. So I just wanted to share at least those 3 things that helped me find my purpose. I'll do another video that explains what my purpose is and the other things that I'm moving towards and that I'm actually doing. But those are the main 3 things. So if you are one that it's I have gifts, I have talents, right, but I really don't know exactly which way to go and what exactly it is that I need to do, try those 3 things, right? Change your mindset, start listening to some stuff. Of course, always pray. do a fast. Your fast does not have to be my fast. Your fast does not have to be 90 days. Your fast does not have to be exactly what I did, right? But you want to pray and ask God, okay, what do you want me to fast from? You get what I'm saying? Because things, it could be different. I was also praying for other things as well, not just for God to show me, like what my purpose is and what it was that he wanted me to do. But there was also just, personal things and professional things, career-wise, and things of that sort that I needed clarity on, that I needed answers to. And I was like, I just got a lot, I did this fast October 4th of 2024, and so my last day of my fast was January 3rd of 2025. And like I said, during that time and even after, like I said, some things happen, but I was expecting things to happen, not exactly what happened. But when you go on the fast, the devil is you're trying to get closer to God, right? And so the devil is literally going to try to kill, steal, destroy, and try to distract you, right, from just a lot of different things. And I continue, to stay focused. I, pray over, my situation and my circumstances and things of, what happened, during those 90 days. But I literally continue to keep God first and continue to press forward. And so, this is just, just encouragement, you know what I'm saying, for you guys. If you are literally just like in the middle, you're just kind of struggling, literally trying to figure out what's what, right? So try those 3 things. Like I say, ask God, what is it that I am supposed to be fasting from, right? What is it that some people do, 3-day fast, some people do 21 days, like, it's totally up to you. You do not have to do a 90-day. You don't have to do exactly what it is that I did, right? Those were just things that I personally did because those are things that I feel as though that God was telling me that I needed to do, especially based off what a lot of things that I was actually praying for. So yeah, y'all. So that's that. I'm in this parking garage and I don't know what these people's doing. But anyway, so yeah, so that's that. So I just wanted to come up here and tell y'all, like, it's possible to know. I know at times, like, you may feel, a little weary, but don't, right? Don't feel weary and literally just stick to the plan. But I know sometimes things may get, a little bit, weary and, you just be like, what am I really supposed to be doing, right? Because that's how I felt. Because I wanted elevation. I wanted more to the life that I was living, right? I wanted more, and I'm just like, God, I know there's more. Like, there's more for me. Because what I'm doing now, this ain't it. This ain't cutting it, right? Like, there is more, and that's just personally what I did. So I want you guys to go on a journey and literally to find your purpose, find the things and the gifts and the talents, because we all have gifts, we all have talents, we all have something, right, in us that God has instilled in us that we literally need to be doing, like, and putting it out in the world and sharing our gifts, sharing our talents, literally to help the next person. God didn't place, gifts and talents in us to keep it to ourselves, right, to be selfish with that. So yeah, and literally stepping outside of your comfort zone. That's another video that I can get into, because y'all, I'm literally in this parking garage. It was dark. I got the car on, these 2 lights, and I literally have people pulling up looking at me like, what is she doing? But we're gonna still get this video out. But yeah, so that's that. So always pray, of course. Ask God what it is that he wants you to do. What is it, that he wants you to, bring to him, give to him. Write your list down in reference to your skills, your gifts, your talents. And if you don't know, you don't have to necessarily have all of that in one day. You get what I'm saying? Like, with one day you write a list and you got 5 things. Okay, cool. Put that list, like, off to the side. And then a couple of days later, if you think of some more stuff, write that, add to your list. So you don't have to literally have everything all at one time, but write your list down and just pray over your list and ask God to show you, right, give you wisdom on the different things out of your list that he wants you to do and that he wants you to use for him and for his glory. And then like I said, of course, change your mindset, fast, and those are the things that I did that actually helped me. The last thing that I want to mention is that I also went in scripture, which I do not have at this very moment, but I will put it in the description, where actually in the Bible where it talks about your gifts and your talents. And I also wrote that out too, right? Because we can have more than one gift. You get what I'm saying? And so I was like, okay, what are all of the gifts, right? Like what? Because if I'm writing a list down, I also need to figure out, okay, what am I looking for? You get what I'm saying? And so I wrote down the list of where it talks about in the Bible, like the different gifts and the different talents and stuff. And I compared that to my list that I wrote. And I was like, God, within this list, what is it that you want me to do? What is it? What skills that I have? Because we have some type of skills. What skills and stuff do I have that literally can help and push me to move forward into my purpose and into what it is that you are calling me to do? And just one of those that I will share before I end this video, that one of my gifts is leadership. One of my gifts is actually leadership. I'm very intentional, right? I'm very organized. I have that, that manager, I will say that management type of, leadership style. I'm just very organized when it comes to different things. And learning that leadership is not just, about being the boss, right? Leadership is more to that. There's more to leadership. It's more than just that. Leadership is about serving. Leadership is about, being you, right? Leadership is about helping somebody else get to where it is that they need to go. And so in doing that, I learned, like, you're right. Like, I do have, a lot of things when it comes to leadership, especially when it comes to like jobs. Like half of all my jobs, all my life, I was in some type of leadership role, or I was in some type of like manager role, right? And I'm like, I can use this, right? Like I can use this leadership type of thing. And then, y'all, it's the last thing I'm gonna say before I cut this video. It dawned on me one day after I wrote the list, and this was still within my 90 days, because again, a lot transpired within that time frame. And I was like, Toya, you literally went to school and got your master's for, my master's is in human services, leadership and management. And all this time, I used to get down on myself. Like, I didn't went to school. Like, I didn't got my, bachelor's in psychology, minor in bio. I didn't went and got my master's. Here I am, not like fulfilling, right? Not in a career space of where I actually went to school to do, right? And to be. And then it dawned on me, and it's like, when you went to school, that's not in vain. You literally went to school for leadership and management. That is what my master's degree is in. Just because I'm not using that in a corporate setting, which I did, like I said, when I was a manager or whatever, but I was using it in a corporate setting, but I still knew it was more to just that. I knew God still had more for me than just that. And so I end up just realizing, like, okay, wow, this leadership role, like, I literally can take this into my business. I literally can take this into my entrepreneurship, right? I literally can take this into what it is that God is actually showing me and what he actually wants me to do. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I feel so uncomfortable doing this video and these people are literally surrounding me. And it ain't nothing bad, but it's just, I really don't record myself more so in public. So everybody keep getting on their calls looking at me like, what is she doing? But anyway, stepping out my comfort zone. But yeah, so it's just like, you're literally, like, you're there. You're still, you going to school, getting your master's and degree and all that. That's not in vain. Maybe it's not necessarily in the way that you thought that you were going to use it, but you're like, your gift is leadership. That's your gift, right? One of your gifts, because I have also discovered other things, gifts and talents that I do have. But just for the sake of this video, leadership is my main priority, my main focus in what it is that I have, right? Like, I'm able to lead a team. I'm able to lead myself, right? I'm able to lead a group of people, whether that's employees, whether that's, leaders, whether that's entrepreneurs, even when it comes to like family functions and spending time with, friends and going on different group trips and things of that sort. Like, you have to just be just a well successful, organized leader, right? In just all different aspects of my life. And that's a skill, because a lot of people don't have that leadership role, right? That leadership skill. They pass it down to other people, be like, oh, I can't do this, she can have, right? So anyway, so I said all this to say that sometimes whether we go to school or whether we don't, as far as whether we go to school, whether we don't, God still has something special, right, for you. And just know that you may not get it, or it may not hit you when you want it to hit you, but you literally have to be silent. You have to be still. You have to be focused and allow God to talk to you and speak to you in reference to what your gift is and how he wants you to use the gift that you have. Like I say, we can have more than one. But once you find that gift, then you have to move, right? You have to execute, because sitting on your gifts and literally not doing anything it just defeats the purpose, right? You have to use your gift for you and to help other people as well. So I hope that this video helps someone. Take those 3 different tips that I use to help me find mine, to hopefully help you find yours, or at least get on a process, get on track of doing that for yourself. Of course, if y'all have any questions, let me know. If you have not already subscribed, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and that you also click the bell so you can get all of the notifications as well. And then I want you to put in the comments, because you have your gift, you have your talent, right? You just need that clarity, right? So in the process of when you do those 3 things, also pray for clarity as well, and pray for wisdom, so God can give you that and give you, that structure, so you'll know exactly what it is that you are supposed to be doing. So I want you to comment clarity and structure, in order to find, your gifts and your talents, so you can start, using those, and helping other people. So I'll see y'all in the next video. See ya.